Camera rolling, sound speeding, action. 1, 2, 3. So I had to break my vlog story, and because my second battery died, and so I needed to wait until the other one was charged. So now that the other one is charged, I took the opportunity to get a quick shower because I want to go out and explore the town in its deconfining state as Geneva eases itself out of deconfinement. Like I said, I haven't been out really since March, middle of March, 11th of March. I have confined myself not only to my apartment but to my neighborhood. It means that I have gone out, I go jogging, I go walking. I now walk to the groceries when I can, you know, and so that means that I go more frequently. It forces me to get out, it forces me to go shopping, it forces me to go and buy food and necessity, and then it forces me to go out and walk. So I walk to the groceries back and forth, so every other day, you know, so that way I ensure that I do get out. So that's one way that I adopted to get me out of the house. Otherwise, you know, I could be indoors forever, really. Honestly, if I have a good book, I have stuff to learn, forget it. So now the country, Switzerland, is in the process of lifting these restrictive measures that they put in place during the lockdown period. And they started easing off on these measures, restrictive measures. I believe it was the 8th of May, or is it the 11th? The 11th of May. Another set will come into effect the 27th, you know, whereby now I think for organizing events, you can go up to 1,000. And for small private groups, more or less, you're talking of 5 people, but you still have to maintain the social distance of 2 meters, you know, per person between people. So I haven't really seen what Geneva is like in the state of deconfinement, you know. So as I said that I'm cleaning all the clutter in my apartment, and so I've cleared out my terrace. So I feel that maybe it's time to not bring in more clutter, but to sort of give it a certain mood, you see, whereby summer is really at my doorstep, you see, just by stepping onto the balcony, terrace. There is this feel of summer. So I will go to the shops and see what's there, and see whether I can pick up a few items to brighten. Like, for example, I used to have flowers on my balcony in pots, and of course when you travel then it becomes a headache. So but I feel that this year, in any case, traveling is not on the agenda. No. If I travel, it's within the country. It's an opportunity to rediscover the country. First my canton, the canton of Geneva, and then the whole country as a whole. But going abroad, sitting in an aircraft with mask in that confined space, you must be joking, because already, you know, I had to work on myself for a long time before I even took a plane. I mean, like, I've traveled since I was a child, but as I grew older, somehow being confined in that small space felt very claustrophobic for me. Now we have much bigger airplanes, even for short haul flights. But before, for these continental European flights, oof, the planes were so small. Was it a 4-car, 8 or whatever? They were really tiny, and I had real problems flying in these small, airplanes, and especially when before takeoff or just before or when the plane landed, everybody gets up to reach out for their luggage, either to put it in before takeoff or to bring it down from the lockers up. That was the killer for me. It was like, oh, and I just felt like I couldn't breathe. Sometimes I'd just dash out of the plane, really. But then afterwards, I began to get control over that feeling of claustrophobia. But now when I see images of flights with everybody wearing a mask, no way, no way. So for me this year, forget about travel, but it's an opportunity to rediscover this country. It has so many cantons, 26, and to rediscover even Geneva. There's so many different neighborhoods, there's so many things to explore. And most often than not, we usually rush abroad to go and look at what others have, in terms of sites and monuments and history and culture, and we forget about our own. So this year, it's all going to be about being local and appreciating what you have locally. So before I left, so that I don't get carried away, let me finish my vlog. So therefore, I did talk about the professional development goal, and I said always read something about your job, because there are lots of things to read. I don't know about your job, but for me there are lots of guidelines, there are lots of policies, and sometimes you don't get the opportunity to read these things. And when you do get the information from reading, it helps you better in your job. So as a professional development goal, every day I try to read something that I didn't know about related to my job. I always put in time to learn, learn on the job, because lifelong learning has to be part of your DNA, especially now with this world that is moving so fast because of technology, because of computing, because of everything is being moved to the digital space. You have to keep up. You really, really do. So whatever role you play, always think of future, always think of lifelong learning, always building learning into your job, because you never know. And of course, you try to do the best that you can, and be at your best at your job. And this is why for me the spiritual development goal is really key, plus the physical, because healthy mind, healthy body, healthy body, healthy mind. There's a connection. And spiritually, it sort of helps you deal with the day or any situation in the day better, because it's like a break. It helps you to be more patient, it helps you to be more understanding, it helps you to be more tolerant. So this is the spiritual, these are the benefits from from developing yourself spiritually, really. And physically, you need the physical strength, you do, both mentally, physically, emotionally, so there is a link. And then I end my my to-do lists. The approach that I have adopted is that during the day I need to reward myself. I need to do things that I really love. I need to do things that keep my heart pumping, that gives me a lot of hope, a lot of energy, a lot of pleasure, and so it has to be something light, something that I really like. And for me, for now, because I really want to develop in my digital filmmaking and photography skills, I'm on a journey to improve that. And so I try to dedicate time every day in progressing in my learning of not only my cameras, the Canon PowerShot G7X, but the Canon EOS ATD. So it means I read the manuals, it means I also buy books to complement, you know, my understanding of the filmmaking industry. So right now I'm concentrating on learning about the mechanics of the cameras I use, but also learning the art of filmmaking. Okay, so both the technical and the artistic part of it, you see. So for me, for personal development right now, I'm concentrating on honing in developing my digital filmmaking and photography skills. And I'm also, because filmmaking and photography, digital filmmaking and photography has some components or areas linked to computing and technology, I have decided to embark on this course on to get formal education, information, knowledge in computing and technology. So I enrolled in a distance learning course. So I am learning towards having a recognized qualification in information, computing and technology, okay, in computing and technology. And so I'm at the very first stage. This is undergraduate level, really. I want to start from scratch. And so the first course, which is on computing and information technology, technology is 1. It composes of 3 blocks, and each of the blocks we have a written assignment, and we have, for each of the same blocks, we have a computer marked assignment. So for now, I finished the first block, which is about the digital one, which also ties into what I do. You know, it talks about the digital platforms. It talks about, you know, the bits and the bytes, and resolutions of pictures and compressed files, and this helps me better to understand this world of filmmaking and all, you see. So I'm getting the technical knowledge as well. So every day I try to read one part of one section of each part of the course, because each block is divided into 6 parts, and each part has 6 sections. So to keep up, make sure that every day I read a part, you know. And if I don't make it, then I have to find time to make up for what I didn't make. And so far so good. The first assignment I got, I had 100% yes, and I'm yet to get the results for my first written assignment, but I think it will go well. And I love to cook, so cooking is also one of my hobbies, and I love to read. I really, really love to read. So in summary, this is the approach that I have now adopted into incorporating into my to-do list every day: a spiritual component for spiritual development, a physical development component for physical development, then the professional, because that's what keeps me, you know, maintains me financially. You know, I need a job, I need money, and until such a time that when I'm on my own, or I can be on my own, you know, I have to depend on my employer for my livelihood. And so you have to give the best that you can to your employer wherever you are employed, you know. And you must not only think of present, but you must think future. You must have long-term, medium-term goals about where you want to be in your career. And of course there's the personal development component. So the way I structured it, you see, the spiritual puts me into this state that is so peaceful, and it's so encouraging, and it's so, you know, positive. And then the physical aspects, you know, these things have to be done, and they're not always nice, you know. So these are the physical complements the spiritual, you see. So the physical I'll consider not so pleasant, but the spiritual is what rewards. So I start my day on a good, positive, spiritual note. Then I get out the thing that makes me the physical aspects, and then there's a professional. I think that, hey, come on, this is what brings you the bread and the butter, so you've got to give it your best. And so those are the professional goals, and I make sure that I read something, but also there's a learning component. I'm building towards a learning objective, professionally speaking, so that I see myself progress, going somewhere. And lastly, I treat myself. That's the best part of the day, when I can put all the rest to rest, and I really get out things that I love to do. And this is where, you know, if you love to run, or this is an opportunity for you to develop a hobby. And for example, for me right now, the focus is on digital filmmaking and photography. And then I have this course that I'm following, a formal course in computing and information technologies, because I see the area that I'm really passionate about is about interfaces. You know, not only the interface where the web pages and sites are concerned, but interfaces in all digital so I was cut. So in fact, every 60 minutes I need to keep my eye on the how do you call it, on the camera, and keep my discourse short. So yeah, so the final one, this is where the personal development component of my to-do goes, the quadrant, you know, of the approach I'm using. I catalog everything into 4 groups, and the last group, the last quadrant, is for personal development. This is where I get to do all the things that I love to do, and currently the things that I love to do is to develop my digital filmmaking and photography skills. And you know, computing is something I love. I really love, you know, to pursue this area of technology that concerns the human-computer interaction. You know, this is where the human-centered user interface design is, you see. And so this for me is something that I really like to pursue, so that the digital world can be a place where everyone, regardless of who you are, whether you have a disability or not, whether you are from the north or the south, you know, regardless, you know, you have equal opportunity to compete on the same platform, the digital platform, you know, to realize your full potential. Because right now, as it is, it's not equal, you know. I learned that there are yeah, like 83% of websites do not cater for persons with disability. And disability could be from dyslexia to having visual impairment, or hearing impairment, or even intellectual cognitive impairment, you know. And most websites do not cater for people like that. So 80% of websites do not. And so can you imagine all the people who are left out, left behind because of that? So, and like I said, I also realized that the 21st of May was the Global Accessibility Awareness Day. Honestly, it was new to me, but then I got to see so many companies that are providing services, products, and helping out with content on the internet, on devices, to meet this digital divide, whereby lots of people are excluded because they are not part of the majority. You see, so many of the minorities, regardless of what kind of minority you're talking about, it could be linguistic, language, you know, it could be physical, mental, cognitive, whatever, they are missing out on the opportunities that are available or can be tapped into on the internet. So this is an area that I'd like to pursue, and my pursuit in learning in computing and technology will help me to be able to advocate for a more equal, fairer, just, equitable digital space for everyone, leaving no one behind. I love to cook, and I certainly like to read. So to end my vlog, yeah, I know I took a shower while the battery's charged, and I did not put on any makeup, you know, thanks to this confinement. And since I went abroad in February, the beginning of February, to a very hot country, I went to Ghana. Actually, this is where I'm originally from, and I went to a reunion, a prize speech prize given day, and my class, you know, were co-sponsors of the event. So people I hadn't seen in 40 years. 40 years we gathered. So there were at least, I think, about 50 of us were there. I think maybe 40 could not make it. So I hadn't seen people in a long time. 40 years is a long time. And most of us hadn't changed, most of us. So since then, it was so hot that I just could not wear makeup. And since then, I've been wearing less and less of it, and especially since there was this confinement, it gave me another reason not to wear makeup, because I was teleworking. But when I went back home to Ghana, I saw that most of the people there, they had such lovely skin. And you know, the reason why they had such lovely skin was that they left their skin alone. They didn't fill it, pad it, you know, with all that makeup that just does nothing but clog the skin and really destroys it. So since I came back, I've decided to wear less makeup than more. And if I wear makeup, it's because there is a special occasion that, you know, I want to look so glam and so, you know. But otherwise, I just prefer to go without makeup to allow my skin to breathe and to repair, because all this makeup that I used to wear every day, it has damaged my skin, you know. It has clogged pores, it has caused, you know, how do I call blemishes and stuff. So anyway, so now let's just get to the unboxing. So I told you about an unboxing. I told you that there was something that I'd been waiting for so long, and now it's here. So I'm not keeping you in suspense for too long. It's here. It's here. Ooh, yes! Voila! So this is the unboxing. My Adobe Premiere Pro 2020 release, Classroom in the Book, is here. So now I can follow this course chapter by chapter. Well, this is the way I do things, you know. I tried doing it online. No, that's not for me. So I'm going to go chapter by chapter. But now the interface that I have will match the interface here that is used for the lessons for this course. And so as and when I go through this whole book, to master the technology used for video editing, which is Adobe Premiere Pro 2020. I will bring in the knowledge that I get from this book, from this course, into my work. So all things being equal, you should see improvement in my artistic, creative filmmaking, digital filmmaking work in my vlogs moving forward. It should. So anyway, but that's also a journey. It takes time, it's a process. So voila. So on this note, I am going to go out. I'm going to explore a bit the shops, and I will do the museums some other day, but I want to go and pick up a few items just to see. And so on this note, I'll end the vlog. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to comment and like, share if you think the tip was useful. It's working for me, this new approach that I've adopted, you know, whereby even when I do the things that are not so pleasant, I know that there will be things that are pleasant to reward me for that effort. And so just that psychologically helps me to get over and do the things that I don't like to do. So it's working for me. And try it. Tell me what you think. Does it work for you? If not, what is it that you're doing to help you keep fit and healthy and happy? And yeah, so on this note, I will end it. I'm sure this vlog is gonna be an hour. I don't know, because I've cut more than 4 15-minute clips, but there will be the editing and everything, so we'll see. Anyway, on this note, I will say do take care, keep safe, take good care of your health, because your health is your wealth. Really, honestly, without your health you can do nothing. Without your health, without being in good health, forget about those dreams. Forget about your dreams, you know. It will be a dream. But if you do have health, and of course determination and faith that you get in your spiritual development, and with the physical, you know, fitness that you get from the physical development goals, plus, you know, the financial rewards you get from your professional development goals, that allows you to actually do what you love to do. If you're in a job where your loves, your passions is actually your loves, your passions are indeed your job, hey, lucky you. Most people do not find themselves in that situation. Most people have to do jobs just to keep going, to get the bills paid and everything. And they make their job very pleasurable. They bring in their passions into the job, or they create a job whereby they begin to love, and that keeps them going. But in any case, have these 4 elements built into your to-do list. Have these 4 elements as part of your goals that you set daily, and by keeping to your daily goals with all these 4 components in mind, they will slowly roll over from day to day to become weeks, months, and before you realize it's a year, and you look back and you see that you have achieved a lot. And another thing that I will suggest is that at the end of the day, looking at your progress when you tick off, you know, if you look at these 4 quadrants, you know, as you tick off the things that you do, summarize it in a notebook, your day. Just try to focus on the positives. Even if there are negatives, end it with a positive, and go to bed on a positive, knowing that you've achieved a lot, you have done considerably much, and that you are slowly, you know, moving in the right direction to achieve your set goals. And so far this method is working for me, and I'm happy with my progress. And so on this note, I'm going to leave you. Take care. God bless. Stay safe and reach for your dreams. You're the only one who can do that. And at any age, you know, I'm the example. At any age, you can always start with something new. You can always start with something new and follow your dreams. So if this is my message, this is it. Regardless of your past, regardless of how you see your future, once you have today, your present, seize it. Make the best of it, because time, once you dispense of it, use it up, it's gone, you know. So if you have time, I personally will advise you, invest in yourself, invest in knowledge, in education, you know, in upskilling, you know. The rest, they're just fleeting, you know. They would just go like fashion. They come and go, you know. They come and go, and voila. So my 15 minutes is coming up, and it's a good time to go. Like I said, I'm using my Canon PowerShot G7X, and voila. And so I'll see you in my next vlog.